Okay, now let's try to share my screen again. This worked rather nice yesterday. Can you see the GCC packaging standards starting slide?
Yes, we do.
Okay, fantastic.
But you can, you know, because you are having the presentation view right now that you are sharing, you can share the normal slide as well, not the presentation view.
Is it this one?
No, when you are making the screen share,
Yeah.
you have to choose the other PowerPoint the other
This standard 839 from 1997 describes general requirements to packaging of food materials defined as containers. So we have some definition. What is a food packaging? Containers from packaging materials suitable for food, for their containment, protection, and ease of use. So what is the functionality, such as metal cans, glass, plastic bottle, paper, plastics, etc., as primary and as secondary packaging. So a very generic definition, what is a food packaging, what is a food container. Here they, in Article 3.1, they specify that a primary packaging have an interior surface that directly contact the food, while the secondary packaging has an external for the primary packaging, which is not in direct contact with the food. So that's also a valuable definition to distinguish between primary and secondary packages. To be honest, this has no consequence for further GSO standards and for further legislation. So it might be interesting to have different requirements in the legislation for primary and for secondary packages. But in real life, our experience is that the requirements from all of these GSO standards, also for the plastic standard, which we will learn a bit later, are exclusively applied for primary packaging. So we have never heard that in the Gulf area anybody is considering secondary packaging according to these very detailed GSO standards, but only the primary packaging. Here we have, let's say also a very general, very generic requirement that all of these materials used in the fabrication and forming or treating packages of food must be food grade. This is a bit comparable what you have seen yesterday in the GMP regulation in the European one 2023, Article 5. You remember all of the ingredients for manufacturing shall be of a suitable purity and must be suitable for the intended use. This is, I would say, comparable to that. It should not cause any hazardous or health problems and shall be clean, free of contamination. And last but not least, we have also some performance requirements, including design considerations, moisture barrier, light and oxygen permeability consideration. They, of course, stay very generic, but this is also something we do not have in Europe, and we do not also have something like that in the FDA. So that's also very exclusive to the Gulf area. That they define that oxygen permeability should be considered. So you should ask clients what type of food will be packed, which requirements in terms of oxygen and light permeability do they have, which moisture barrier do they require, design consideration, and so on. So the technical performance of a product needs to be discussed between packaging supplier and the food packer, so the food company, to ensure that these requirements fit to each other, so that the packaging you are manufacturing fits to the requirements of the food the food company is packing into it. As mentioned, this GSO standard 839 is of course not defining which oxygen permeability permeability a film or a cup or a bottle shall have, or which carbon dioxide permeability, which light transmission a packaging shall have, because every food has different requirement on that. But the standard clearly says that you should discuss it between supplier and customer and ensure that the performance of the packaging meets the requirements of the food. Yeah, and then we also have already in sorry, once in between, we have seen an amendment in 2017, so that's rather a new one. So they amended, I would say, some new technological developments, some new, some updates, let's say. This was published in 2017. Now we have also addressed the active and intelligent packaging materials, which we have seen earlier. Oxygen propellants and moisture absorbents are typical examples for active and intelligent materials. So this is nothing additional or no contradiction to the active and intelligent, but more examples of that. We have modern steel round cans of 2 or 3 pieces, which are now also covered. So this is also new in 2017. And we have new in 2017 that the standard specifies that if plastic or other non-food items are used in the food packaging, that they also shall meet these requirements. So even if this is not really a packaging, but an advertising item, a promotional item or something like that, like gifts, pictures, and so on, these materials also should meet the requirements as outlined above. And they, if you have such commercial items, such promotional items, they shall be labeled that they are done so, that they should not be eaten, and that the size of the gift or the other product shall be mentioned on the number of the product. Inks and materials should be food grade. So here we have in 2017, the GSO entered a very, very generic requirement for ink, that they should be food grade, but unfortunately nothing more. So as we discussed yesterday about the printing inks, there is no GSO standard or no detailed requirement on the composition of inks, unfortunately, in the Gulf area. And oxygen absorbent capsule in acidic food and liquid food are forbidden because these capsules are not stable against acidic or liquid food. So oxygen absorbent shall only be used in indirect or contact with food or in dry food packages. Yeah, that's it for 839 for the general requirement. You will see myself again and my team. And Natalia, I think we have a bit more of time. If there are questions, I'm more than happy to answer if possible.